My name is Nicole, the drama teacher behind Let's Get Dramatic. This is a video lesson I created for my drama teachers' lessons on Teachers Pay Teachers, but I hope that others can benefit from this lesson also. Let's get into it.
All right, welcome to Let's Get Dramatic, and today we are going to be going over Twisted Wave. So I have recorded this for my own sound lesson, so if you're here from my lesson, that means you have learned about sound waves, and we are getting into the how to record and change the sound wave to add effects and all of that kind of stuff to use for live theater. So I have a browser open as a guest. I've done that so that you can see exactly where I go to be able to access Twisted Wave. And it is not hard because we are going to type in Twisted Wave up here and hit enter. And it will pull up, for mine it's this top one of twistedwave.com. So we're going to go right here. It is an audio tool that you can purchase, but we are going to be using it for free, and we're not going to be even doing this 30-day trial because we're not downloading anything. We're going to come up here and go online. Right here is the online web version of Twisted Wave. We are not going to just sign in unless you have signed in and used this before. We're actually going to register right over here. So if you are doing this for a school, I suggest using your school account to sign in to anything you're going to be using for school because it will protect you from getting spam and other things like that. I have not had a problem with this website, and I have used it for many, many years, but just in case, sign in with your school website. I'm going to do that same thing right here and blur this out. And then once we get everything signed in, I like to click I agree to the terms and services and policy practices and look over those first and then agree. And then I do not accept receiving special offers and discounts because I just do not like having a lot of spam in my email, but you can choose to do that if that is something you want. So here we go. Type in your first name, last name, email, password, and password confirmation. We're going to skip to that part now. Once you have done all of that, mine's going to be blurred so you can't see my personal information. Then you're going to hit register right down here. If this has asked you to pay any money, tell them decline. Sometimes you will get little ads for it up, but you get an hour of space to be able to create different things, and you can create for 5 minutes of recorded space and download 5 minutes of recorded space at a time, which is as much as we are going to need to be able to play around with these sound waves. So you're going to create a new file. You don't want to upload a file or import a file from Google Docs or import from SoundCloud because we do not have a file created yet. So you go to empty file, and then I'm going to make mine big so it's a little easier to see. And here is my new empty file. So once you have done this, you are going to have your account created, and that first step on the worksheet is taken care of. Next step is record with Twisted Wave. You're going to record your voice. It says to record your name, first and last, and then choose one of the following. And there's 3 questions you could choose from over here. I am going to choose number 2 to talk about, which is what is your favorite hobby and why? Instead of using my real name, I'm just going to say my name is drama teacher, and then I am going to answer that question. You want to have this in mind before you hit the record button, because as soon as you hit the record button, it does not count down or anything. With this site, it just records right away. So you want to be able to start talking right away. So I'm going to hit record and say, Okay, so you'll see I said I am, but I just wanted my name. So I'm going to undo that by going to edit and undo recording. I could have done CTRL+Z also, and I'm going to try again. Drama teacher and my hobby is crocheting. I love crocheting because I can do it backstage while I'm waiting for my lines, or if I'm being a techie, I can do it backstage and not be super bored during rehearsals, but also be at rehearsal and be present. I can set it down anytime and jump into anything I need to do. And then hit the same button to stop the recording. All right, now I have made my recording. It is about 18 seconds long. Yours can be longer or shorter. It doesn't matter. We're just trying to play around with the sound waves for this assignment. So you're going to go down on the paper and it says effects to try. And there are a bunch of sound effects listed to try. So I'm going to show you how to access these sound effects. You're going to go all the way up here to effects. Click it, and then there is a long list of sound effects and additional ones that have been previously done right up here. On this assignment, if I had a long pause beforehand or after, I might not want that in there. So I can click and hold my mouse down and go to the side and select anything I want to select. So I could go ahead and select that part of the introduction where I wasn't talking and hit delete, and it will delete that section of the audio. Also, I could do that to any section that I've messed up on. If I accidentally delete or do anything to this that I don't want to do, Control-Z undoes what I have done. You also have these undo and redo buttons right up here that can help. And then if you want to zoom in on a section, you just hit the zoom in, there's zoom out, there's normalize, fade in, fade out, also right here or under effects. And also change your playback speed right up here. So let's get started with these different effects. I am not going to play the effects for you on this recording because the whole point of this assignment is for you to see what it does to the sound waves, hear it, and be able to figure out what is happening and how you could use that effect, or just how to manipulate the sound wave. So to manipulate the sound waves, I'm going to first capture all of my sound waves right here, my entire audio. If I wanted to, I could also hit Control-A, and that will capture everything also. So going up to select, and you could select all, deselect, you can move to the start, back, all of those different types of things. So let's get to effects. So the first thing you're going to do is right over here is amplify. And you can go up, down with your gain. The gain is how much audio is allowed into the system. So I'm going to go up and go plus 24 and see what that does to my sound waves, which makes them huge. And then if I want to undo this to try another effect or try something else, I would undo that after I listen to it. And then I would also go to amplify and bring that down and see what that does. So you want to try these different things, listen to them. Make sure when you're amplifying it, you're not going so loud in your speakers that it's going to blow out your speakers or hurt your ears. If you are having a hard time with that, just turn the volume on your computer down. It is okay if it's a little hard to hear. So here are also some different effects you're going to do. So we have fade in and fade out that is right here. So you're going to try those. These you can do to the whole section, or if you just wanted to fade out right here and then it gets loud again, like if you were doing a music cue or something like that, you would take that effect, capture just that area, and then do a fade out on that area, and you can see how it gets quieter and then comes back up to louder again. You also are going to play with pretty much all of these different things and pay attention to what they do until we get to invert polarity. So you're going to go down the list. The list matches this list right here. And then when you get to invert polarity, you're going to skip these three. You don't have to skip those three, but skip those three for the assignment. And you're going to go ahead and click denoise. And then you would do the amount and see what this does to your audio. And make sure that you've captured it, because I just didn't do anything. And then before you change the pitch and speed after you denoise, you're going to record an additional audio vocal recording inside of this audio recording. So there's a few things that you can do. One, you can decide to do it at the beginning or end. That's super easy. You just go and put your cursor where you want it to be, and then you're going to record right here or record on this button. You can also put your audio recording in the middle of something and then hit record, and it will record in the middle and stop when you want to. You can even just say something like, this is my second audio recording. You could answer one of the additional questions at the top, anything to show that you have created a second audio inside of that audio. So once you have done that, you are going to select your whole thing or a part of your audio, and you're going to change the pitch and speed. My personal favorite is when you have small sections and you change this pitch and speed to different things throughout your project. So maybe I want it to be high pitch and really fast for this first section. And then the formant, which I hope I'm saying that correctly, can be up or down. I'm going to go up for this one, just have super high speed in the beginning and apply that to this section. And then my next section I would have a different effect, and I would go maybe a low pitch again with a high speed, and maybe formant would be lower, and I would go through and change each of these, and then I would play it and see how that changed the audio. If you don't do it in small sections, do it in large sections and just go back and forth and just hit Control Z to undo your changes so that you can hear each change and what you are doing to your audio. And then the last section that we're going to cover and play with, VST effects. On the line next to it, so I've listed 7 effects from the VTS effects up here at the top. I listed 7 of these, and you are going to write down on the line what you think the effect did. So you're going to want to capture your entire audio, Control A, go up to effects, and then you're going to choose one of the 7 effects. You're going to click on that and apply it. And then you're going to listen to it and write down what you think the effect did. Then you will undo that effect and do the next effect until all 7 effects are done. If you get done early, feel free to test out all of these different effects and see what you think they do, or play with any sections of this that you want to. I use this a lot in live theater for either recording sound effects so that we can play the audio, like in The Wizard of Oz, if we're going to be having the wizard voice loud and boom. Instead of having the actor say that line live, we might have him speak into a microphone and record his voice and then add some effects and play that live for the audience. We also use this for our introductions and the endings of our shows. The other thing I really like using this for is recording radio dramas and commercials. So once you are done playing around with all of these different effects, if you are doing this with the class, you are going to make up and write a commercial that would work in a radio drama, and then you are going to be saying it and recording your voice and choosing the effects and twisted wave to make a really awesome commercial for a product. It could be a real product or a fake product that you are making up. Either way is fine with me, but to have a lot of fun with the sound waves and with your voice is the goal. So thank you for listening, and I hope this helps and that you have a lot of fun with it. Good luck. Teachers, please like and share so I can continue making content.